you all that, okay? Another one. Mobile phones, it's easy to lose a mobile phone. C'est facile de perdre un portable, les smartphones. And you're saying, but whatever you're saying, a child can do lots of, but at the same time it's great because children can do lots of homework with their mobile phones. Mais en même temps, c'est fantastique parce que les enfants peuvent faire leurs devoirs avec leur portable. Or whatever you're doing. It just looks a little bit sort of better structured when you do this. Or again, you could do the same thing over here. So my point being, whatever you're doing, whichever method you are doing, don't just think, oh, they're asking me my opinion about mobile phones, and I've got to say everything I possibly can, okay? You need to do the following. You need to make sure you're using the text, which we will come on to in a minute, and if you've been given any sample material, but you need to show a structured argument. So what does this mean? This means introduction. Give an opinion on generally what's going to happen and let us know what's coming. So if you've been asked to talk about mobile phones, you can say there are various reasons for and against young people using mobile phones. Okay? Whatever your opinion may be, whatever you are going to be saying about mobile phones, I need this kind of introduction. Okay? So use language to show me it's an introduction. Okay. Pour commencer, actually, well, no, give me language to show it's a general opinion. Yeah? So, comment on the question. C'est une question très intéressante parce que beaucoup de jeunes utilisent les portables. It's a very interesting question, or it's a good question, c'est une bonne question parce que beaucoup de jeunes utilisent, beaucoup d'adolescents utilisent les portables. Give me a general opening statement. It's an interesting question because sound bothered. Then give your introduction, and your introduction is going to be roughly where you're going with the argument and what's coming. Okay? And you don't have to 100% say where you lie in your opinion, you're just going to say what's coming. So, for the following, there are a lot, the following arguments are going to show us that there are two opinions or something. Les arguments suivants. Yeah, okay? So this is a great word to have in essays. So we've got following and we've got preceding. So following is suivant or suivante if it's feminine, obviously S if it's a plural thing. And précédent is précédent. Or again with the possible E, again with the possible S. So for the following reasons, pour les raisons suivantes, for the previous arguments, pour les raisons précédentes, okay? Good. So we really just need a basic structure. Final thing on this topic, quite a long topic, make sure when you're jumping between different sections, you use words to show me. And I ask you to look at the connectives video. So you're going to use, and I think I'm going to do a separate video all on connectives. So if you just bear in mind you need a connective. So a connective is going to take you forward in the argument, it's going to take you backwards in the argument, or it's going to take you in the opposite direction. So for example, I think this, but I also think this, opposite direction. I think this, I also think this, same direction. I think this, however, I also think this. So we have these words in French. So, mais, but, pourtant, however, ceci dit, that said. Furthermore, de plus. Yeah? Now, connectives aren't just words. I want you to use sentences which move a person. I want you to think of your essay. You've got a limited amount of words, but I want you to think of your essay as a little pony and you're going to turn it the direction you're going in. So if you've said one thing all against mobile phones or uniforms and then you're going on to the other paragraph, show me, or ideally if you're in the same paragraph you've given me one way, one the other, show me you changing direction. It looks ridiculous to say, I think uniforms are great, uniforms are expensive. It looks ridiculous, and we can't just keep putting may. So use a sentence. If you're running out of words which are connected, use a sentence. So what are you ultimately saying? I think this, but also there are people who have another opinion. Je pense, mais il y a aussi les gens qui pensent que, yeah, or il y a d'autres personnes, there are other people who think that, okay? So this is less about the French and more about the structuring. Great. So that when the examiner picks up your thing, your paper, he can see this is somebody, or she, this is somebody who knows, this is somebody who's written a structured argument. Leave yourself, if you're doing any writing for A-level or high school or any kind of senior exam, write on double lines. You can always ask for more paper. That way you can go back, you can change things, you can add things. Good. So that's our basic guide, a little bit lengthy on how to do the essay in points. Okay. Good. Next idea. Okay. Where's the board rubber? We seem to have lost a bit of a board rubber, which is always an issue. No, we don't. Big shout out to Ginny, who bought me this kit. Okay, one of my students. Good. So, next argument. Try and use what you can to display your knowledge of pronouns. So this means you want to use the grammar and you want to use the vocabulary in the text. The great thing about, and this is for oral exams as well as for written exams, the great thing about exams and questions is they give you the words they need in the question. They give you the genders. So what are you going to do this weekend? Qu'est-ce que vous allez faire ce weekend? Ah, that's reminded me, it's masculine, okay? Est-ce que tu es parti en vacances cette année? Oh, that's reminded me. Did you go on holiday this year? It reminded me we use the verb partir en vacances. Great, so you can get a lot of material. Obviously going up to A level, where you will have heftier chunks, you will have heftier vocabulary. So you might have articles, depending which board you're doing, and you're talking about the material in all the articles, and we'll come back to that later. So you do want to try and get vocabulary in. You need to, the first time you mention anything, okay, you're obviously going to have to get it in. Then what we want is for you as quickly as possible to show the examiner that you are comfortable using a pronoun, which means you're using a word other than the vocabulary. So for example, let's go back to our mobile phones, okay? So I think smartphones are fantastic, whatever, okay? So je pense que les smartphones sont... I'm giving the same basic sentence just to show how we're going to modify it. Fantastic, okay? Great. Rather than saying because, okay, we need an opportunity to show the word them, okay? So we can go with beaucoup. This is obviously the short form for beaucoup, just for my notes, BCP. So beaucoup de personnes les achètent. Whatever, les gens have them, on achète, buy them, okay? So we're using les for them, buy some of them, on, okay? So these are the kind of words I'm talking about. So these will be, this isn't about being able to see the board, this is about just getting the point that I'm on about. You need to use the pronouns, okay? Great. Why do I want you to use... What else can you do grammar-wise? I want you to think getting as much grammar as you can. So your basic sentence has been, lots of people buy them, okay? What could we do? What else could we do if we had lots of people buy them that's going to show off grammar, okay? Lots of people have bought them. So if we went over here, let's do this. So, beaucoup de personnes, what am I doing? Beaucoup de personnes les ont achetés. Now, les, in other words, is plural. So I'm going to need an S. Yeah? If you don't understand that, can you look at the preceding direct object video? So already, in having used the pronoun, not only have you shown off the pronoun, you've shown off the fact that you know the previous direct object rule, which is a mark. Okay? It just gives an overall impression to the examiner, this is not a C grade candidate, this is an A, B grade candidate. Okay? If we said it's fantastic that lots of people have bought them, we can combine more than one thing, so we can get in our subjunctive and the same thing, because we only have a limited amount of space in the exam, so we want you to get in as many grammar points as you can. So, let's say we said, it's fantastic, it's an adjective, a neutral sentence will give us the subjunctive, il est ou c'est fantastique most of the time, there are exceptions, which you will see on the subjunctive video. So c'est fantastique que beaucoup de personnes les, and now we'd have Okay, we'd have the subjunctive in the auxiliary verb. Okay, we could say it's fantastic that lots of people had bought them before recently, whatever. Okay, so this could be avec. We could stick it in the pluperfect if that was our argument. Okay, so my point being, show off your tenses, show off more than one piece of grammar at the same time. Let's continue. Okay, so for example, if we have a sentence, talk about what you did last weekend, or talk about what you do in your free time, your leisure time. Okay, so last weekend, whatever, I went. Okay, so je suis allé. I went, or with an E if you're a girl. It's fantastic that I went to the beach last weekend. C'est fantastique, and I'm using c'est fantastique as a motif all the way through. I'm not saying that's the only adjective you can use, it's just so you recognise where it comes and how we use a subjunctive. So c'est fantastique que je sois, yeah, instead of je suis, S-O-I-S, okay? So I went to the beach. Yeah, well done, you've used an extra verb. Yeah, well done. What else could we do to show off a bit of grammar? After going to the beach, après être allé. So you've shown me that you know how to do the after having thing. So all of this could have just been, last weekend I went to the beach. Yeah? We're saying, après être allé à la plage. Okay? Next thing. What are we trying to do? What's our general theme for this section? Trying to use as many bits of grammar in one go. And this is why we leave spaces underneath, because we can then go again and make it more complicated. Okay? Just showing the examiner that you know this helps. So, what did we do on the beach? We walked. J'ai marché. Okay? Give me a reflexive verb. Je me suis promené. Okay? Je me suis baladé. Okay? So, if you use je me suis baladé, straight away you are using a reflexive past. Okay? You are using a reflexive past. This is already more complex than j'ai marché. Okay? What can you do already to this that's going to give me more marks? Okay? I'm happy that I went for a walk. So je suis ravi, je suis content. Lovely. Je suis ravi que je me sois baladé. Anytime you give an emotion, you're going to have a subjunctive after que. It doesn't matter if que is the first verb, the only verb, or if que is the auxiliary. So you're already using other bits to the sentence. Okay? Je me suis beaucoup baladé. Okay, I went for lots of walk. Who cares whether you did or you didn't? The examiner doesn't know. So je suis ravi que je me sois beaucoup baladé. I mean, it's getting into heavier French, but it's written French. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to show all these things off at the same time. Okay? Final thing on this note. Whenever you can, use a compound verb, okay? And use it in different sentences, okay? So, if you'd had, you just say you went to the beach. What could you do? You could slip in, if I had known the weather was fantastic, I would have worn a t-shirt. Okay, who cares? It's to show off the grammar. Straight away then, so you're talking about something in the past, and you're looking for an excuse to show the examiner that you are comfortable in other tenses. So if I had known, si j'avais su, if I had known, qu'il faisait beau, whatever we're going to do, the weather was good, j'aurais porté un t-shirt. Okay? Or we could deliberately try and use show off again, because you want to use the constructions that are less common. So, si j'avais su que, if I had known, I would have gone. Okay, so I would have gone with a t-shirt. Who cares whether I'm wearing a t-shirt? I would have gone. So